Hey there, friends. Tired of managing symptoms and struggling for answers? This holistic podcast guides you beyond one-size-fits-all advice to uncover root cause health solutions. I'm Holly Jean Mullen, your functional nutritional therapist host. Drawing from over a decade of clinical and personal experience, I'm here to help you overcome chronic issues like thyroid problems, autoimmune conditions, hormone imbalances, inflammation, weight loss resistance, the list goes on. This isn't generic advice. It's a comprehensive, personalized plan covering nutrition, mindset, and environment. Tune in for practical education, expert guests, real stories, and coaching to help identify what's keeping you stuck. It's time to understand your unique needs and tap into your God-given ability to heal by honoring nature's wisdom. Your transformation starts here. Let's go. Hey there, friends. Welcome back to Real Health Transformations. I'm your host, Holly Mullen, and in today's episode, we're going to talk all about how to avoid becoming prey to the flashy weight loss gimmicks that are going to be popping up right now, because this is that time of year going into the new year. You know, all those things that you're going to start seeing where it's promising fast results with little effort, all those little miracles. Spoiler alert, I'm sure you already know, they rarely work. Sometimes they can even just leave you feeling even more frustrated and defeated than before. We're going to talk about all that today. I want to talk about the reasons behind weight loss resistance. And I know I've talked about this before, but we're going to go in a different direction today. We're going to talk about the different body types. We're going to talk about hormones, and we're going to talk about stress and how they all play together, or maybe don't play together so nicely in the sandbox, but in a way that I haven't talked about before. As I already said, I'm kind of repeating myself. But if you've ever felt like no matter what you do, the weight just won't budge, this episode, I'm hoping, will offer you some new insights to think about, or maybe a different perspective. So you might want to get a notebook and a pen, because when I first heard this stuff, I could not write fast enough. Well, you youngins might want to type it up. So this time of year, this going into the new year, it kind of feels like the Wild West for weight loss marketing. And I even refer to this type of year as kind of like our Super Bowl. For those of us in like the health, nutrition, weight loss niche space, it's kind of like our Super Bowl, because this is the time of year when everyone is desperate for a fresh start. And marketers know this, and they take advantage. The detox teas, the cookie cutter meal plans, the crash diets, the programs that promise to be the thing that works for you, none of them address the real complex reasons why your body might be holding on to weight. This time last year, December 2023, was one of my lowest low points in terms of where I was in my headspace, in terms of like how I looked, how I was feeling in my own body. And I actually started writing about that the other day, and I'm going to share a little deeper more about that later on. But just know that I have been in that place where it's like the end of the year, you're thinking of the new year, you're looking back on this past year and wondering where you went wrong, or beating yourself up for the things you didn't do or should have done. And here you are facing a new year and just disappointed in yourself for starting a new year, maybe in the same place that you were last year, or maybe even in a worse place. Like I know what that feels like, because that's where I was last year. So I'll just say weight loss isn't about cutting calories to oblivion or punishing yourself with hours on the treadmill that eat less, exercise more, calories in, calories out. That does not work for most people. And if it did, this would not be a multi-billion-dollar industry. And this is why so many people spin their wheels every December, January, only to give up in February. And I used to hate the gym in January because of the crowds, but they'd always thin out by February. By March, April, it was kind of back to normal. And the root cause of their weight issues, probably why they left the gym, is because they were still not being addressed. They weren't seeing results. So effective, lasting weight loss, it has more to do with uncovering and addressing what's going on inside your body. And there's not a secret to it. It's not about punishment. It's not deprivation. It's understanding what's really happening. And that includes how toxins, hormones, and stress, and how they all play overall into your health. So let's talk about body types. Understanding your body type and how your body responds to food and stress and weight loss or your health attempts, when you understand how your body works and how your body responds to these things, your attempts at weight loss is going to save you time, money, and frustration. It's kind of like when you get your colors done. I haven't done that yet, but I really, really want to. But that's when you know what your hues are. And so once you know what works for you, from your makeup shades to your colors to your hair, you stop wasting your money and your energy buying things that won't make you look and feel your best. This is kind of like where that is. It's the same for the body types and hormone types, which we're going to talk about. So too many of us just beat ourselves up for not hitting our goals on losing weight, but it's really not your fault. You've just been trying to rock cool summer shades when you're a warm winter. So let's figure out what your body colors are. Because the body types are more than just our natural shape. They're going to provide clues about how your body stores fat, how you respond to stress, and how you process nutrients. And you may be familiar with the traditional body types, the ectomorph, endomorph, mesomorph. There's a deeper next level layer that involves your hormones and your internal health. So I'll just review the traditional body types because maybe you've heard of them, maybe you haven't, but let's just all get on the same page with those. First, we have the ectomorphs. These are the lean, delicate type. Ectomorphs are naturally thin and lean, and often they find it difficult to gain fat or muscle no matter how much they eat or work out. And yes, this body type might seem enviable. It does come with its own set of challenges. So maintaining weight, building muscle, that can really feel like an uphill battle for this person. They have a fast metabolism that can lead them needing more energy than they're able to store. And so from a hormonal perspective, ectomorphs, they are often linked to thyroid imbalances. Signs like persistent fatigue, brittle nails, or intense carb cravings, these might signal that the thyroid could use some extra support. I have a few ectomorph friends and I love them, but they have the unhealthiest diets. They're always eating candy and junk because in their minds, as long as they are not gaining weight, then they can eat what they want and be healthy. And so this body type, what I see, they often equate health to size or their outward physical appearance. And by focusing on nourishing foods, proper rest, stress reduction, ectomorphs can find ways to better support their unique physiology when it comes to putting on some healthier muscle. All right, the next body type are the endomorphs. These are my curvy, sturdy girlfriends. And the endomorphs are characterized by a higher tendency to store fat, particularly around the abdomen, the hips, the thighs. These are those hourglass figures, and they're naturally soft and curvy, but that does have a disadvantage too, because this body type often struggles with losing weight and managing cravings, especially for sugar and processed carbs. And hormonal imbalances are frequently a problem for endomorphs, involving adrenal fatigue, liver dysfunction, estrogen dominance, high stress levels and poor detoxification. They can have challenges with hormonal balance, which can make weight loss pretty tricky for this body type. But it's helpful if they can focus on stress management, detoxification to get those hormones balanced. That can really make a big difference for the endomorphs. And then the third one are mesomorphs. These are just naturally balanced bodies. They have a more naturally muscular or athletic build. This is a body that's a little more well balanced, more adaptable, and this type tends to gain or lose weight pretty easily, which makes them just naturally suited for physical activities and a wide range of diets. This body type does well with the whole balance, everything in moderation philosophy, but they do have their challenges too, like chronic stress, hormone changes that can kind of throw off their equilibrium, which is going to lead to imbalances that might affect their energy or physique. Let's understand these body types. So if we think of your body type as a way of giving you a roadmap, it's not about working with your the external factors. It's about working with your unique biology rather than against it. And where this ties back to this bigger picture is when your body is overwhelmed, whether it's by stress, poor nutrition, or your environment, it's going to hold on to weight as a survival mechanism. For example, if you're an endomorph with a tendency to store fat around your hips and your thighs, poor detoxification can play a role in that. Endomorphs, they're often struggling with hormone imbalances like estrogen dominance. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I thought I was going to sneeze just then. Which is a crucial support for our natural detox processes. If we have estrogen dominance, we need to be supporting our natural detox pathways regularly. So that's why it's like beyond what you eat. And we'll talk soon here about how your home and your lifestyle can really work to help reduce those unnecessary burdens on the body. All right, those are the 3 traditional body types. Let's talk about the 4 hormonal body types. You may have not heard of these before. First, we have thyroid, adrenal, ovary, and then the liver. And they can kind of layer into your natural body type and present a new, unique set of challenges. So if you've ever wondered why your body even stores fat in the first place, like it's not just to make you miserable, but fat serves a bigger purpose than just like insulation or organ cushioning. It is a survival mechanism. And so, evolutionary speaking, fat developed as a way to protect you from starvation, famine, periods of stress. So, your body stores fat to help you survive. So, instead of thinking of fat as your enemy, we can really benefit from understanding that it's there because your body is trying to protect you. Your body is always going to be trying to protect you. And so your body is creating fat as a protective feature. So the question to ask is, if fat is a survival mechanism, if it's here to protect me, how do we get rid of it when there's too much of it? But also a better question is going to be, what is this fat accumulation telling me about my lifestyle? What is it trying to protect me from? Because most people turn to diets as their go-to solution when they want to lose weight. They're cutting calories, they're portioning food, they're practicing that moderation philosophy. But diet, in essence, mimics starvation, especially since most people do not understand how to diet responsibly. The more you starve your body of nutrients, the harder it fights back by holding on to fat. So this means like the very thing that we're doing to try to lose weight, like the calorie counting, the extreme restriction, the portion control, it often backfires by messing up our metabolism and making problems worse. Now, again, the body and the body response is not the problem. We are designed to be able to withstand and even thrive in periods of scarcity and famine. But we aren't taught how to work with this natural adaptation, and we're only told eat less, exercise more. And the last several decades have shown us what a disaster this is. And I'm going to talk more about this topic properly, that working with your body in natural feast and famine cycles, in January episodes. So stay tuned for that. But we're focusing on the hormone body types here in this. So we'll talk about the thyroid body type first. When your thyroid isn't functioning properly, it can lead to excess weight because it influences every cell in your body. This causes your cells to expand, leading to weight gain that's evenly distributed all over your body, because we have the thyroid receptors and the cells all over our body. One of the first red flags of a thyroid issue is craving for carbs. We're thinking starches, breads, pastas, crackers, waffles, pancakes, muffins, even sodas, juices, and alcohol. These cravings often go hand in hand with weight challenges, just showing the deep connection between hormones and metabolism as your body's survival mechanisms. Because if you're dealing with thyroid issues, you might notice some significant signs that your body isn't happy. So for starters, the cravings for those pleasure foods like those breads, the potatoes, the rice, those other carbs are common. Sourdough bread, fresh from the oven. A lot of people like that one. This is your body begging for those quick hits of energy. But beyond that, their thyroid problems are going to show up in other ways too, like thinning hair and brittle strands of hair, or even hair loss. Like you're noticing it when you wash your hair, when you comb your hair, brush your hair. That's because your hair is made of proteins, and thyroid issues can disrupt how your body is using those building blocks from the proteins. So your nails might give you a clue. Vertical ridges, like those up and down lines, that can be a telltale sign of thyroid trouble. And while you might think of loose, thinning skin as just like an aging thing, it could actually be another thyroid red flag. So if you've ever noticed someone with dry, brittle hair, missing the outer part of their eyebrows, or constantly cold feet, someone who wears socks to bed, you're probably looking more at signs of a struggling thyroid. And no, needing to wear socks to bed isn't normal. Like, unless you're in a very, very cold environment and you're like all bundled up, then okay. But if it's just your feet and you need socks all the time, that's a thyroid sign. So because thyroid's linked to temperature regulation. So if you have thyroid dysfunction, you're going to have trouble regulating the temperature of your body. People with thyroid issues also tend to feel chronically tired no matter how much they're sleeping. They'll crash hard, they'll sleep for hours, and just wake up still feeling unrefreshed. Another less obvious effect of a thyroid body type is that they don't absorb vitamins very well. And so, yes, while a sluggish metabolism, the body is not properly breaking down or using nutrients efficiently. So if you're taking a bunch of vitamins and all this stuff describes you so far, without proper thyroid function, you are basically just making some very expensive pee, because the thyroid plays a big role in managing your body's enzymes and metabolism. So when it's out of balance, everything from energy levels to digestion can take a hit. Constipation is a big one with thyroid bodies too, because everything just slows down. So think of thyroid as everything just kind of slowing down. Of course, there's the opposite. You can have hyper, where things are speeding up, but we're talking about weight loss problems here. So if you're hyperthyroid, weight loss resistance isn't really so much an issue. That's like a different set of symptoms there. There's some overlap, but there's a different set. The adrenal body type. So the adrenal body type gets its name from the adrenal glands. And so these are little stress managers. They sit right on top of your kidneys, and they play a role in how your body responds to stress. So if you touch your back just above your waistline, that is where they are located. I do an in-clinic assessment where I can physically assess adrenal function, no labs required, but also you can find out just by going through these symptoms, this checklist, using your body wisdom journal if you haven't downloaded that yet. But your adrenal glands are there to help you build stress resilience. They're there to help you handle bursts of stress. And so yesterday, I was taking a little cat nap and I was awakened by all of the smoke detectors in the house going off. And so I jumped out of bed like so fast. I ran out of my room, yelling, "What's burning? What's burning?" I found my 13-year-old in a cloud of smoke above the stove. It turns out he was trying to make a grilled cheese sandwich and he was frying cheese in a pan, and that quickly resulted in very, very burnt cheese. And this was a huge jolt of stress initially. But once I saw that there weren't any flames, the house was not, in fact, burning down, that stress dissipated. But if that stress becomes constant, it's like your body is responding to a smoke alarm 24/7. So over time, this is going to lead to burnout. When your adrenals are overworked, they start to affect everything from your sleep, your digestion, your blood pressure, cholesterol, blood sugar, even your hormones. So it's like having just too many apps open on your phone. It just slows everything down and drains your battery. So if you've ever struggled with stubborn weight gain, chances are there was a major stressor right before it started. Maybe it was a surgery, having a baby, a divorce, even an illness like asthma attack or a throat infection like strep throat or something. Now, for me, all right, let's talk about this. For me, when I mentioned how last year was like my lowest point, the events that led up to my weight gain and that lowest low point included 2020. So say no more. That alone is enough stress and trauma for most people. But I also lost two of my jobs in 2020. I was working at a gym. I was working at a CrossFit gym in Seal Beach doing my health and nutrition coaching, but I was also working at a restaurant on the nights and weekends too. I was still like covering the gap from when I quit my corporate job, because I quit my corporate job where I was a significant financial contributor to my family to go and study nutrition. So I graduated in 2019 from my nutrition program. So in 2020, I was still getting my business off the ground. So I was working at the gym, I was working at a restaurant, and in COVID, the gym closed and the restaurant closed. So I found myself out of income. That's stressful. We also had a very emotional move out of a home that we loved. It was actually the home I grew up in. And we did not want to move. Like my kids loved it there. All their friends were there. So we moved out of that house and we were temporarily living with my mother-in-law. And then we moved across country, leaving the only state we've ever known as homes, all our friends and family, to moving to Oklahoma, where we didn't know anybody. We had no friends here. We had no family here. We just moved. So, and in the middle of all that, I also experienced a deep and intense emotional trauma because I lost the relationship with my dad. And with that, lost connection from other close family members just as a result of that. So then here we are, we moved to Oklahoma and I'm starting my business from scratch again. And then I'm adding in real estate. So adding in this second career path and learning something new, all while trying to make new friends, get settled here in a new state, help the kids adjust because that move was very hard on them. And I was also homeschooling and I was being a part-time single mom because my husband still going back and forth to California for work. And we're trying to figure out homesteading and we got all these chickens. And it's no wonder I gained 40 pounds and slipped into a depression. I did not change the way I was living. I did not become more unhealthy in terms of like my diet and lifestyle, but my body could not handle the stress. I had major, major, significant, stressful events, one right after the other, stack up for 3 years, back to back to back to back. So I was not processing, I was not recovering. And stress doesn't just disappear, it builds up over time. It fills up that metaphorical bucket in your body until it overflows. And adrenal stress isn't just about big life events. It's about little everyday things, from relationships, work, finances, parenting. Oh my gosh, I am in it right now with my teen, you guys. Watching the news, what's going on in the world, it all adds up. And even our environments, from electromagnetic frequencies and radio waves to the contaminants in our food and our water, the toxins we're exposed to daily, they all contribute to the stress load of our bodies. So those aren't things that we traditionally think of as stress, but our body is receiving them as stressors because our body has to deal with them, whether or not we're acknowledging them or even know that they are there. So over time, this stress can leave your adrenals burned out. Your energy is drained. Your body's struggling to cope. And so it's a reminder that managing stress is about more than just avoiding smoke alarms and fires. It's about navigating the people and the situations that challenge us daily. It's about taking care of ourselves daily. So when your adrenal glands are burnt out, your tolerance for stress plummets. And everything and everyone just starts to get on your nerves. You might be able to relate to this. Incompetent people just making mistakes because suddenly unbearable. You might find yourself reacting more than you should. You're feeling edgy. You're struggling to keep your cool. That's because your adrenal glands, which are responsible for helping you handle stress, they've lost their ability to buffer the impact of life's challenges. And without that buffer, you're running on empty and your body feels like it's constantly stuck in survival mode. And this state of stress impacts more than just your mood. It changes the way your body functions. Your thoughts become scattered, almost like popcorn in your brain. You're kind of jumping all over the place. Your memory starts to falter. I'm seeing a lot of things online these days about ADHD brain, ADD brain. It's adrenal fatigue, you guys. When you can't function, you're jumping all over the place, starting one activity and then getting distracted and squirreling out. Can we just call it that? It's adrenal fatigue. Yes, I understand there probably are some very true cases of ADHD, but that's not the case for the entire population who's identifying as having ADHD. It's no, you are overstressed. If you've ever completely walked out of a room and forgotten why you were there, or had a conversation with someone while a separate conversation's running in your head, that's adrenal fatigue. You're solving problems 24/7, unable to turn your mind off or relax. And instead of unwinding, your body stays locked in this fight or flight mode. And that it only worsens as the stress accumulates. It only worsens the stress on your adrenals. And this is why I'm constantly singing the praises of the X39 and Eon patches, those LifeWave patches, because I am insisting that everyone needs to wear them daily because they are clinically proven to calm that stress response in your body. It is a non-negotiable to me in this day and age. We need all the help we can get in calming our nervous system. That is why I patch. You need patches. If you don't have them yet, send me a DM. So stress doesn't just affect your mind, it's going to reshape your body. So when your body is in survival mode, it's going to store fat around your midsection. It's going to protect those vital organs. So yes, fat does have a protective purpose, but that's not its only purpose. So that stubborn belly fat that you have, it's a direct result of elevated cortisol, your stress hormone. And cortisol is constantly getting blamed. Oh, cortisol, cortisol, cortisol. Okay, it's a bigger picture. Cortisol is a part of this adrenal situation we have going on. No amount of sit-ups is going to flatten that tummy because the issue. That's not the issue with your weight. It's your hormones. The more stressed your adrenals are, the harder it becomes to burn fat. And your body will start burning muscle, especially those in your legs and your booty. It's going to start burning muscle for energy before it even touches that belly fat. And over time, this is going to lead to weaker legs, knee problems, that kind of belly where your skin sags, making it harder to move or climb stairs. And that booty, that sexy booty we all want, it's just going to disappear. It's not free from being eaten by this stress. Like, just say goodbye to muscle tone. You're going to have thin legs, no butt, and a bigger belly. So if you picture someone with skinny legs and like just no butt, a flat butt, and a larger belly, upper body area, this is a classic adrenal body where fat is stored in the abdomen and the muscles in the legs and the butt is gone. It's flat butt and stick legs. Adrenal fatigue throws your body completely out of balance, and it starts with your sleep, really. So during sleep, the delta wave sleep, your body is designed to recover and burn fat naturally. But when stress and poor sleep disrupt this cycle, fat burning, that's taken a backseat. It's just a simple equation. If you're not sleeping well, you are not burning fat effectively. I talk to clients a lot who, they're already stressed, but they're waking up early to go to the gym, that 5 a.m. club. Great. Unless you're already stressed, like they're sacrificing sleep so they can go exercise. I see this a lot with my high achieving, ambitious type A female clients. More so my females than my male clients. And it becomes really challenging because they're constantly on, they're juggling demanding schedules, they're pushing through overstimulated days. Exercise becomes their go-to stress relief, which is great under normal circumstances. But the catch here is that when your body's already running on stress hormones, those intense workouts like the CrossFit, the spin classes, or I don't know if anybody does P90X anymore. I don't think so. But those types of like high intensity exercises, they're doing more harm than good, especially if you are sacrificing sleep and recovery to go and do a workout because you're prioritizing workout thinking, oh, I need to work out to lose weight, but you need to be sleeping. The post-workout energy boost, it's often referred to as energy or runner's high, even if you're not a runner, but it's that like amazing feeling you have afterwards. It's because you're getting a temporary cortisol spike. So someone who's already in fight or flight mode, that hit of energy can feel like that's the fuel that they need to keep going. But it creates this dangerous loop. So instead of helping their bodies recover, they're inadvertently adding more stress. They're draining their adrenal reserves and they're deepening the fatigue. So with recovery and not relentless activity, it's with recovery where the magic happens. And adopting more restorative practices like gentle movements, walking, prioritizing deep quality sleep, which I know can also be a challenge when you're stressed. And so like this is an area that we can work on, but that's what's going to help your body heal and get back into its natural rhythm. So just remember that fat burning and healing aren't about doing more. They're about allowing your body the space to do what it was designed to do. Like when I was just starting out in January, so January of this year, I was very much this adrenal type for sure. As you heard my story, I was not hitting the gym hard. I was walking. Some days I would just get up, put on worship music and stretch, but I was just creating that habit of showing up into my gym every day. And then I was able to start adding weights. Then I was able to start adding more as my body recovered more. But at first I wasn't doing much and the weight started coming off. So if you're an adrenal body type, stress and burnout are often the culprits behind that stubborn belly fat, behind your fatigue. So we need to support your adrenals with nutrient-dense food. You need some stress management techniques. That is crucial. But also we need to consider proper detoxification and how your body is able to detox the stress. And that's going to play a major role, because without it, your body's recovery and your stress response are going to continue to be compromised. So if your adrenals are maxed out, it's not just about managing stress, it's about protecting your body from further damage. You need to be taking the time to truly rest and recover and address the root cause of your stress. That's really the only way to restore balance and avoid long-term burnout. And I get a lot of pushback from this because it's counterintuitive to what we've been taught. We've been taught to go harder, work out harder, diet harder. No, we need to stop pushing, stop hustling, start recharging. That is the key to supporting your adrenals and getting your body back on track. All right, let's talk a little bit about recovery. I know I have more body types, but I want to talk about recovery because this is, like I said, where the magic happens after a workout. So when you exercise and you stress your body, the real benefit comes during the recovery phase. That's when you burn fat. That's when you repair muscles. And that's where you make progress. It's not during the actual workout itself. And if you don't believe me, try exercising for 3 hours and then weigh yourself before and after. Like, if you have one of those little devices, let's say you burn 900 calories, right? You're not going to see any actual weight loss on the scale. And that's because fat burning happens during recovery. It's not while you're sweating it out. So if your adrenal glands are burnt out, your body is struggling to recover. And that's why people with adrenal fatigue often don't see results from their workouts. Exercise is only effective if your body can adapt and rebuild afterwards. So without proper recovery, it's just like spinning your wheels. Like, you're working hard, but you're getting nowhere. And this part of adrenal fatigue, it's also going to just wreak havoc on your metabolism. So for my adrenal cases, the intense workout, the calorie cutting, and the diets, that's just going to make things worse. Okay. All right. I think I've covered adrenal. Oh, a couple things here also. Sorry, I just said we covered it. I have some things in my notes here that I just want to touch on real fast. If you are noticing frequent nighttime wake ups to go to the bathroom, this is because your bladder is directly influenced by your adrenals too. Adrenals can also impact your blood pressure, especially that top number, the systolic. Blood sugar imbalances, high cholesterol. I'm actually experiencing this right now. Like, even though I've been doing keto, I monitor my blood sugars. I am very closely monitoring like what I'm eating. My sugars are high. My glucose is high because my blood sugar is imbalances due to stress. Like, it's not a sugar problem. It's not a diet problem. I need to control my stress. Vitamin D is adrenal related too. And I'll explain on that one because I think people get confused a lot about vitamin D. So when your body's under stress, your adrenal glands are kicking into overdrive to produce stress hormones like cortisol, like we talked about, right? But guess what that also does? That process burns through your cholesterol reserves, which means that there's less available for other important hormones and processes. So it's like this chain of reaction that stress depletes your resources and your body shifts into survival mode. So it leaves things like vitamin D production and utilization of vitamin D kind of on the back burner. Supplementation is not going to help you there, but this is why it matters that vitamin D isn't just a nice to have nutrient. It's essential for our hormone regulation, for our immune function, for our brain health. So when your adrenals are also constantly taxed, it's going to lead to inflammation, arthritis, cognitive struggles, like we talked about with the brain fog, messy handwriting. If you ever feel like your brain and your hand aren't talking to each other and your handwriting's getting all messy, it can be a sign of more than just a bad day. Like, this is adrenal burnout. Your body is amazing at survival, but it is not supposed to live in stress mode 24/7. So if you're noticing symptoms like the fatigue, the inflammation, low vitamin D levels, it's a signal that your adrenal system needs support. All right. Okay. Oh, I have so many more notes here. I'm going to skip through some stuff. I'm skipping this part because I just want to cover. I am going to cover those on another one. So I want to get through the body types, and I'm realizing I'm already at like 40 minutes here. And I've only covered one of the 4. So, okay, our next body type, let's talk about the ovary body type. This shape, it's often characterized by weight gain in the lower body, the hips, the thighs, sometimes even the arms and breasts. This pattern is driven by estrogen dominance. And it's a big reason why you won't see many men with this body type, because they don't have ovaries. Shh, don't tell the woke people. Get canceled for saying that. Sorry, I'll say it loud and proud. Men don't have ovaries. Okay. Excess estrogen is going to encourage fat to settle in these areas, and that can lead to other symptoms like heavy periods, cramping, PMS, fibroids. Also, men don't have periods. Just another fun fact out there. Fibroids, a lot of times those go hand in hand with too much estrogen. So the solution isn't necessarily drastic measures like surgery. It's about balance. Cruciferous vegetables, kale, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, these are things that can naturally help clean up and balance estrogen in the body. They're often overlooked little heroes, little estrogen heroes, because most people either skip them or they overcook them or they put them in the microwave, all of which kills their benefits. Estrogen dominance can also cause monthly struggles like headaches, cravings, mood swings, fertility issues. So, ironically, many women with these symptoms are prescribed birth control pills, which is only adding to the estrogen overload. So, to avoid making things worse, we just want to steer clear of foods that mimic estrogen, like soy. Like soy in American products, it's not fermented like it is in other countries. Instead, it's processed into soy isolates, and these are highly estrogenic, and that can lead to tumor growth in the liver, the ovaries, the uterus. After menopause, when the ovaries slow down, the adrenal glands take over. That is the natural process of passing on the torch. The adrenals are backup hormone producers. If your adrenals are already overworked, this transition can lead to hot flashes, night sweats, other challenges associated with menopause. Menopause, perimenopause, they are not the problem. The problem is that women are too stressed, either by toxic load or life, most likely both. And their adrenals are just flipping them the bird if they haven't just totally walked off the job yet. And they're like, I'm quit, I'm out, deuces, y'all. So supporting your adrenals early can make the shift into menopause so much smoother. Estrogen also plays a kind of little sneaky role in blocking thyroid function, which is some women develop thyroid issues during pregnancy or during these times of hormonal shifts. We can't forget about our buddy, the BFF, the liver. It's responsible for converting our thyroid hormones, but if it's overwhelmed, the whole system is just going to go haywire because everything in the body is interconnected. So addressing the hormones holistically, the body holistically, that's the key. So it's not just about what you do to support your health, but it's also about what you avoid. So hormones like insulin, cortisol, excess estrogen, those things can block fat burning. So even if you're doing everything else right, think about this going into the holidays now. and we're surrounded by indulgences, and you think having a cookie or a glass of wine is innocent, which sure it can be. I'm not trying to give you like a complex or anything here, but I also want you to understand the ramifications of what that does to your body in relation to what your goals are. Because a small indulgence like a cookie or a glass of wine can spike insulin, and that's going to derail fat burning, just turn off fat burning for up to 72 hours, depending on how metabolically flexible you are. And just based on what I see with the clients I work with, it's not very flexible. So 72 hours, that's what you got. And that's why making these smaller, like smarter swaps, like you can do sugar-free or flour-free brownies, and it can still kind of sabotage those cravings without sabotaging your progress. Did I say that right? Satisfy cravings, not sabotage progress. Making sure I didn't like say it backwards. Anyways, your hormones are powerful, and it's just criminal that we are not taught how they work or how to support them, because understanding how they work is essential for our long-term health. But if we're focusing on the right foods, reducing stress, avoiding those hidden sources of hormonal disruptions, looking at your personal care products, ladies, this is how you can balance your body and avoid becoming a victim of our modern food and modern stress in our lives. Okay, last type here. Stay with me, guys. We're in the home stretch. We're going to talk about the liver body type, and this is all about understanding how the liver affects your health and your shape. So the liver is located on the right side of your abdomen. It's about the size of a football, weighs 3.5 pounds. It likes long walks on the beach. Actually, it probably does, because that's going to help your adrenals. But anyways, I will stop joking. But your liver is not just another organ. It is the hub of so many processes in your body. And so when it becomes overworked or imbalanced or dysfunctional, one of the first signs is going to be a protruding belly. It can be called like basketball belly even sometimes. But this isn't just from beer. It's not beer belly or fat. It's a fluid buildup. So you're leaking from the liver. You leak in, bro. You leak in into the abdominal cavity. So no amount of sit-ups is going to fix that, because it's not about the calories. It's about your liver health. So over time, our toxic environments, our lifestyles, that's going to damage our liver. As your liver struggles, you're going to notice signs like maybe pain in your right shoulder, like maybe between your shoulder blades, red spots on your skin, itchy feet, itchy skin, chronic bad breath, digestive issues like bloating, burping, discomfort after eating. Those are also common, especially if your liver isn't producing enough bile. So we need bile. That's our detergent, essentially, that breaks down fat, helps you absorb fat soluble vitamins like your A, D, E, K. Without bile, you might struggle with dry skin, night vision issues, or even depression and low libido. On a happy note, your liver is a freaking rock star when it comes to resilience. It's the only organ that can regenerate completely, but it doesn't happen overnight. It can take 3 years of consistent healthy eating and practices and supportive habits to give your liver that full reboot it deserves. But I take from that the good news, which is like our veggies, again, the cruciferous vegetables like kale, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, those are your liver's friends, because they're going to help detoxify. They're going to help rebalance your system and supporting your body in breaking down hormones, clearing out those hormones, clearing out toxins, and keeping everything running smoothly. While on the other hand, like cravings for deep fried foods, needing something sweet after every meal, those are your liver's way of waving a little red flag, going, help, I need help, I'm struggling, help me, I'm breaking down. That's what your liver's saying. This is why proper detoxification is so important, because your liver does need that help because of so much that it's taking in. I will say just a note about supplements like DIM or caldeglucarate. while they can support estrogen metabolism and hormone balance in the short term, like I have a lot of clients, I know a lot of friends that take them, just not my clients, but like friends that just take them as that's what they're doing to support their hormones. That is just a Band-Aid. That the root cause of your liver sluggishness still needs to be addressed. It's the hormones aren't the problem, it's the liver. And yeah, your liver needs some help. I'm glad these supplements are helping you, but we need to dig a little bit deeper here. You can't supplement your way out of an overloaded liver. So that true healing that's going to come from giving your body the right tools, like nutrient dense foods, proper hydration, less toxin exposure, and proper detoxification practices. So looking at the bigger picture here, and if we're going back to like traditional health advice, which often just targets symptoms like the bloating or the fatigue without addressing the underlying liver dysfunction, that's a problem. If we're going to focus on creating health rather than simply fixing the symptoms, the results are transformative when we do that. So whether it's you're supporting your liver, or balancing your hormones, or resetting your metabolism, the shift in the focus should always be from losing weight to getting healthy. Weight loss becomes a natural byproduct of a healthy body. So some quick action steps to kind of recap here, things to focus on. Number one, identify your body type. In both the traditional body types and the hormone body types, and create a little tailored plan to address your body's specific needs, and then build sustainable habits around promoting your body's needs and promoting health every day. Because by prioritizing your health, you're not just addressing the weight, you're reversing the aging process. You're setting yourself up for a better, more vibrant life. And it's just all about consistency and understanding that health isn't something you just fix. It's something that you build choice by choice, day by day. We always have an opportunity to choose better and do better. And we just stack those choices and opportunities up. All right. A quick note of detox here, and one more thing on the liver. So the liver is your body's main detoxifier, one of your body's main detoxifiers. But when it's overwhelmed by environmental toxins, processed foods, or even the wrong cleaning products and personal care products in your home, it's going to struggle to do its job. And that is going to impact your hormones, your digestion, and yes, your weight. So this is why in next week's episode, we're going to start talking about proper detoxification. I've hinted at it a little bit in this episode. We're going to talk about it, not just the trendy kind, but the kind that supports your detox pathways every single day, supports your liver every day. And this isn't about a one and done solution. It's about creating a supportive environment inside and outside your body. And we'll explore how to detox your diet, your home, and even your mindset to really lighten your body's load. So your body type is not set in stone. So if you've identified where you kind of fall into there, it's not set in stone. Things can change, hormonal shifts, stress, aging, lifestyle choices that can all influence your natural build. So for example, an ectomorph and a thyroid type, a naturally lean person may start gaining weight even when thyroid function slows. Evenly when thyroid function slows. So an endomorph and an adrenal type, so a naturally curvy person may develop belly fat from chronic stress. A mesomorph and the ovary type, a balanced, maybe athletic woman may notice lower body fat gain after hormonal changes, let's say after pregnancy. But by identifying your primary hormonal driver, whether that's thyroid, adrenal, ovary, or liver, then you can address the root cause of your weight struggles instead of just chasing these surface level quick fixes and getting frustrated that nothing's working for you, that you're trying everything. It's like, but were you trying the right thing for your body? Now, you might be thinking like, I fit into more than one category. I fit into more than one body type. How do I know which one I am? And for most people identifying, like they do identify with more than one body type, there's always going to be a primary type that's driving the imbalance. And you figure out which one is your primary by tracking your most dominant symptoms first. So, for example, if stress and belly fat are your biggest issues, adrenal might be your primary. If you are experiencing hormonal imbalances like PMS or fibroids, then maybe ovary could be your root cause. If your symptoms align across like multiple types, consider what came first. For instance, like, was it stress, like adrenal? Was it stress that was the trigger that led to your thyroid or liver issues? The key is to always work holistically. You want to like look at the full picture here, address the primary imbalance while supporting the others. For example, if adrenal fatigue is your primary, managing stress and stabilizing your blood sugar is also going to support your thyroid and your liver over time. So let's recap and wrap this up. So in this episode, we talked about the body types, hormones, the deeper layers of weight loss resistance. But if we just like zoom out for a second, the world we live in is just more toxic than ever. Our food, our water, our air, even our homes all contribute to the burden on our bodies. And while we can't control everything, we really can control a lot. There's a lot of factors within our control. And that's why in my work with my clients, I focus on not just their nutrition and movement, but also on their home and environments as well, because detox isn't just about food. It's about creating a life that reduces the stress and reduces the toxins that your body is dealing with every day. So my little teaser for next week's episode, as if I haven't teased it enough, but we're going to dive a little bit deeper into the world of proper detoxification. I really want to set you guys up for success. I don't want you to fall victim to the gimmicks and the 7-day fads. Now, not to say that those things can't be good starting points or can't launch you into some life changes, but I just want you to be realistic and know that one 7-day cleanse is not going to be the solution to your problems if it stops right there. Okay. I want you to have real actionable strategies to support your body's natural detox pathways and to create a healthier environment in your home and your life. Because when you lighten your load, your body is carrying, you're going to make more space for healing. You're going to have more balance and you're going to make space for sustainable weight loss to take place. So, all right, that's it for today, friends. I know that was a lot, so I hope you found this episode helpful. If so, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. And also, I would love. It'd be like my Christmas miracle wish if you could leave the podcast a rating and a review, because I don't think I have any yet. And that really hurts in terms of like helping other people find the show. It really hurts in terms of like visibility for me. Podcasts that don't have any ratings or any reviews that just basically get ignored. So I hear from a lot of you often just saying how much you love certain episodes or sending me messages saying how much you're enjoying the podcast. Please leave a review. Like, it would just help me so much and just be a fantastic blessing. So that's all. We'll be back next week. And then I'm probably going to take the next week off to just enjoy the holidays with the fam bam. We'll see. We'll see if I can record a couple episodes ahead of time, but I might take a week off, but I will be here next week. Until next time, take care of your health, your home, your heart. I pray this blesses you, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for listening to Real Health Transformations. I appreciate you joining me. If you found value in what we covered today, I'd be grateful if you could leave a review on your podcast platform of choice. It really helps spread the word and just helps me get the show out to more people and lets more people find us. And if you'd like to submit a question for me to answer on a coaching episode or to apply to be a live guest on a coaching episode, check out the show notes on how to contact me for that. The show is for educational and entertainment purposes only and is not intended as medical advice. As always, please consult your trusted doctor or medical professional before making health and lifestyle changes. I'll catch you next time on Real Health Transformations.